All right, so welcome back to Heroic Universal Concept International. Okay, this is Heroic Online Institute. Okay, my student is having an issue here. That is the issue I want to solve for him. Like the way I do it in my online institute is when my student is encountering an issue. If the issue, if the situation is difficult, as it's complex, then I will ask my students to send me the copy of their code so that I will analyze it from here. And that is what I'm doing for one of my students. He's struggling with JavaScript. Okay, and that's what I want to solve for him. Now this is the problem. So like when you click to read more, it's supposed to display paragraphs. Okay, if you click on remove an element, it will remove the paragraph, but it is not removing anything and it is not displaying anything. So what is happening? So that is what we want to solve together. So my student, please, the next time you are going to send me your code, try to save it with your name. I would like to be referring to you, okay, with your name. I would like to be calling you by name, and also to save your code with your name. Very important. Okay, so that's it. Let me quickly look at your code. Let's see. Let's solve it together. Okay, here you are creating a heading. This is a function. This is your JavaScript we're working on now. The function creating the heading. Okay, heading 2. Okay, you call it element. Okay, then you come here. Okay, you get the container from this. This is the container you got, which is okay. Then container.append shard, that's we are appending this to this. Do you see where the problem is now? One mistake. So here you wrote element heading, but here you wrote element. So it's supposed to be copy this, put it here. Here it's supposed to be element heading, not just element. Do you understand now? So you are creating a heading called element heading. Then you get the container. Then you are now appending that element you created to the container. Okay, that you created the heading 2, you add it to container. That's, you add it here. You add that heading here. You get me? Okay, and you add it after this. You know, this append shard, you add it after the last paragraph here. Hope you understand. All right, so that's it. Let's keep going down. So these lines are okay now. Then heading. Okay, now here you created the heading. That's the heading you created a text node. You called it heading. This is a text. Okay. Okay, you called it heading. Then you append it to the heading. You know, this heading that you created was empty. Okay, here you create the text that will be inside this heading. Then you append it to the heading, which is correct. You got it. So one thing I want you to do, whenever you want to create a comment, just always try to make space so that we know that this comment is for the one below, not the one above. You understand me? And try to make it in such a way that this, your query bracket will rhyme with this. You get me? There must be in straight just like this. So they should maintain alignment. Okay, maybe you can shift this in Word. Watch me. You press tab, it will not come in Word. Make space between these two functions so that we know where the first function ends and where the other one starts. Give good space. Okay. All right, now after creating, now this one is done. You've added a text. This importance of copywriting to the heading, to this element heading, which is perfect. Now if you come here, you created a paragraph. Make this to be in the same straight line. Okay, then you created a paragraph. Do you see the mistake? Another mistake again. Here they are supposed to be P. You're supposed to put P paragraph. You don't leave it empty. You know, this is document.create element. You are creating an element. You need to put the name of the element you are creating. If it's a paragraph, you put P. If it's H1, you put H1. It must be something you are creating. Do you get me? Then you called it element. That's okay. Then container.append chart. Then you also added this paragraph to this container, which is this container here. You added a paragraph to this container, and that paragraph, remember that you've added the heading. You added the heading before. Okay, this time around you are appending the paragraph. That means that paragraph will be under the heading. Okay, that is the function. This one is a new function. Remember, it's a new function, new paragraph that you want to create. Okay, you created it. You appended it to the container. Okay, then after that you create a text node. That's the text that will be in the paragraph, which is this text. Then you add it to the paragraph by typing element.append chart. Okay, then you add it to the paragraph element. You understand me? Now this element is a variable. Just bear in mind, you can use instead of, you can use paragraph element like this. It will still, everything will still work fine. Paragraph element, just like you can do it like this. Then you can copy it, you press it where element is, so it will be easy for you to understand that this is a paragraph. But let me leave it the way it is, because maybe that was the way I recorded it in the video. But what the point I want to raise here is that this element we are looking at here is a paragraph. Okay, good. And here you are appending that paragraph to, you are appending this to the container. Here you created a text node, that you created text, then and there you append that text to the paragraph. Do you understand me? So this text will now be in the paragraph. So the new paragraph function is done. Now this one is remove. How to remove so append this one where. So how to remove in this new paragraph function. Before I go to how to remove, you see that while you are creating paragraph, you created the heading, then you created the paragraph. You understand me? That was what you did. Try to maintain indentations for your code to look neat. See, if you watch my code now, it's looking neater than yours. It's not neat and it's okay now. Okay, always make your code to be indented. Okay, this and this to rhyme on the same line. Do you get that? Okay, so that's done. Now let's go to remove element. Okay, here you created a heading. Sorry, not creating a heading. You got the heading. That particular heading you created, you got it. You got it by going to get element by ID. Use the get an element by tag name. Then you got the first heading. Okay, you know this is index 0. Index 0 is the first heading. Okay, then you use that first heading to get to the parent. You know, for you to remove the child, you have to get to the parent. Okay, okay, now let me continue. Don't mind me, I just answered the call here. Okay, all right. I think, okay, you created the heading. I mean, you got the heading by tag name, the first heading. You know, when you want to remove the heading, I mean, when you want to remove an element, you have to trace the parent of that element, and that was what we did by saying heading.parent node. That this way we got the parent of this heading. Now we now use the parent to remove the child heading. Do you get that? That was what we did here. For you to remove the child, you have to get the parent, then use the parent to remove the child. Do you get that? So the same here, we also did the same thing. Because we've gotten the parent already, what we did was that we just got the paragraph. Okay, then we now use that parent to remove the paragraph. And we will remove the paragraph, the third paragraph in the whole. That's the third paragraph. Is, you know, if you check this paragraph, then you see we have 1, 2, then the third one is what we will remove. Remember that when you talk about index, we're talking about 0. In index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Continue. You get me? So this tree is talking about the third paragraph, and that's all. So that is it. That is the remove element function. One more thing you're supposed to do for this to work is that because this JavaScript is not in the same page as this particular HTML, because they're not in the same page. You have to get this, you have to link this JavaScript to this page for it to work. Okay, if you didn't link it, it will not work unless you copy. If you don't want to link it in there, you have to copy this, the whole of JavaScript, and paste here. Create a script tag and paste it within the script tag. But I want to link it. To link it, just type it, just create script just before the body, closing body tag. Okay, create script src source. Okay, then the name of your JavaScript is new.js. Then you have to put new.js. Okay, you close it, script, close it. So this is how to link it. I've linked this script now. Okay, so everything now, let's check it again. You know, it was not working before. Let's see. Okay, still not working now. I think let's go back. There's one more thing we need to do. You come here. You know, this not yet a paragraph. Just make it a function. Put brackets like this. So it will be a function. It shows that we are not calling on this function. Okay, so this way now, let's save. I believe there's no more mistake. Let's save it. Let's run it. Do you see? It's now working fine. If you are clicking, it to be showing. If you want to remove it, to remove. You get that now? So that's just how to do it. Okay, so just take note of all these corrections I made. Whenever you're watching my tutorials, take your time to diligently watch it. You see that you missed a lot of things in the JavaScript, a lot of things. We are supposed to put P, you did not put it. So be more observant, Okay, and this element heading, you put elements. So this particular one confused you. This one down here confused you. So you put it the same thing here. And that was another big mistake you made. So just always try to follow the tutorial. Just take your time, observe everything, take your time to follow it. And when you are fighting hard to solve a problem, and that problem is becoming challenging for you, you are frustrated, you are exhausted, you can just leave the problem at the moment. You come back to it when you are cool-headed. If you come back to it when you are cool-headed, it will be easier for you to solve. Do you understand? That is actually the nature of programming. Sometimes you see yourself struggling to solve just little problem, and that problem might be so little, so insignificant, but you won't find out where the problem is coming from. It's most likely because you already saturated. Your mind, your brain is saturated. You've reached saturation point. You need to have some rest. So what you have to do is just you rest. After a rest, maybe the next day or in the evening or in the morning, depends on when you are cool-headed. When you come back to it, it makes a lot of sense. And sometimes when you leave that particular problem, it doesn't leave you. What will happen is that while you are doing other things, answers will begin to come. That's the nature of programming. You begin to see answers. It begins to come your way. You begin to see, that you're supposed to do it this way, supposed to do it this way, and all that. Okay. These things will also happen so much to you when you are building a project. Maybe you have a project that you want to create. You are building a certain project in your mind, and you're trying to create a project, and you are having a challenge here and there. From time to time, you see that when you leave that project, answers will begin to come when you are doing other things. So when you come back next time to that same project, it becomes easier. Do you understand it? So don't kill yourself when you are getting it, when you are struggling and it becoming easy. Just leave it, come back to it later. Okay? I wish you luck. Thank you so much. Just make all these necessary corrections and everything will be fine.